Welcome back to EMS Agri9. In this video, we want to look at economic systems, and we are going to look at a typical examination question that we have of economic systems. So, for the first part of the question, it is define the term economic problem. So, economic problem basically is a situation that we have where we have got limited resources to satisfy unlimited and wants and needs. So basically, that's what we have when we are having an economic problem. So if you go to our other section, we have that description whereby saying it is how to satisfy unlimited wants with limited resources. So this becomes an explanation that we have. So going to the next part of our question, start the pictures below and identify the economic systems represented by picture 2.2.1 and picture 2.2.2. So we are given the two pictures whereby we are going to start with 2.2.1 and we are given a shop that is listed printed in front of fried fishing, and we are seeing that this is a business obviously privately owned, as you are seeing from the title of the shop, whereby it's written Francia. When they are in, we have private ownership of businesses in the economy, and we call it the market economy. So we are saying market economy, the market economy. And then we go to 2.2.2, whereby we are seeing that we have got an overseer that is on top here, and we are seeing a flag, and then we are seeing guns indicating that this is the army, which is obviously, we are seeing that the one that is on top that is acting as an overseer, obviously, is the government, and we see that we are getting the army involved, which means that the government is in control. So obviously, when we have resources being owned by the government, we call it a planned economy. So this becomes the planned economy. So this is what we have in terms of the first picture and the second picture. Then we go to the next part of our question, which reads, list one characteristic of a market economy. Our question is got 2 marks. But basically, we can take note that the question only requires one characteristic. So you know that in a market economy, the factors of production of the resources uh, are owned by individuals. So that's one of the major characteristics that we can try to bring there. And also, there is a competition in the market economy. So some of the characteristics that we can try to bring. So if you go to other section, we have those characteristics listed, whereby we are saying the first characteristic reads private individuals own and control the factors of production, which are the resources. Then secondly, individuals decide what to produce. Then individuals decide how production will take place, and then finally, individuals decide what goods and services to consume. So basically, that's what we have. We go to the next part of our question, which says, discuss two disadvantages of the plant economy. Remember, we are talking about that in the plant economy, we don't have any existence of competition. So it's going to limit choice from the consumer point of view, whereby we are going to have less variety of products being produced, since only having the government being the only producer. So basically, that's one of the disadvantages that we can just try to break in. So we have also this those disadvantages listed on another section. We're saying people do not have choices. And then we have other disadvantages that are following. The second one is saying entrepreneurial skills and innovation are not rewarded. And then people earn the same amount whether they work hard or they are lazy. And then I go to the next one. Productivity is often low because businesses do not aim to make profits. And then if productivity and production decrease, people will not be able to satisfy their needs, and then there is limited range of products because there is no competition. So this obviously, the last point, obviously, we can try to combine it with the first one. Yes, all of them, they are talking about limited choice and being in place. So basically, that's what we have. We go to the next part of our question, which reads, explain why mixed economies were formed. So we're given an extract there that reads, globalization has led to the creation of a global economy in which the economic activity of different countries affects one another. First question is saying, discuss one problem linked to the global economy. Remember, the global economy, we are talking about the world economy. That's the global economy. So what problem do we have that is linked to the global economy? And so we will see that in terms of the question, we can just try to see in terms of the number of marks that we have. We have got 2 marks. And also we can take note that the question requires us to raise one problem. So that is what we have according to the question. So by having this global economy, we are going to see that there is, it was also characterized by the interaction that is there between the local economy with other economies. So basically, that's what we have. And then the global economy also explains the exchange of goods and services that take place between different countries. So the question is asking us the problem that is there when we have such a scenario. And obviously, when there is exchange of goods that is taking place between different countries, we're going to see that countries that are developing countries are going to be disadvantaged as they are going to compete, and the businesses that are operating in developing countries are going to compete with businesses in developed countries. So obviously, in that case, they're going to face stiffer competition. So, or at the end of the day, they're going to be outcompeted. So that becomes a problem that involves a global economy. So basically, global economy is describing the issue of globalization, whereby we are having international trade, whereby the exchange of goods and services between different economies is taking place. So you're going to see that also there's going to be movement of resources from one country to the other in the form of, for example, labor resources. So this global economy is going to lead to brain drain, whereby we are seeing skilled and experienced workers in developing countries are going to be attracted to go to developed countries to go and work there, seeking for greener pastures. So in that case, the developing countries are going to be disadvantaged as they are going to train workers and then they leave the country. So that becomes also a problem. And also those labor force that are going to go to the other countries, they are also going to be exploited. There's going to be also exploitation of labor. That is also a problem that we can also deduce. So we have those points listed in our other section whereby say free trade, which is also part of the global economy, free trade in goods and services could make it difficult for producers in developing countries to compete with producers in developed countries. So this is the first point that we have. Second point, the free movement of labor can cause skilled workers from developing countries to move to more developed countries in search for higher wages, which is the second problem. Third problem, free movement of capital can lead to foreign investors exploiting labor by paying very low wages. This leads to the creation of sweatshops in developing countries. So that becomes the third problem that we can deduce in terms of globalization, and that is the global economy that we are trying to describe. So we go back to our question part. See that we've got a last question that we have, which is in a planned economy, the Daesh takes full responsibility for solving the economic problem. But we know that in the planned economy, the government is the key player. So obviously, the government takes full responsibility for solving the economic problem. So here we are saying the response that we have is the government. And this becomes the last question that we have according to question 2. So thank you for listening. And hopefully the video was helpful. Let's meet again in the next video. And let's not forget to subscribe and share to our channel.